This video was recorded in front of a live virtual audience. Hi everybody, Dacob here. Welcome back to the Fashion Bunker. A lot of you have been asking me this since several years and I've never gotten to this video yet. But now the time hath arriveth, and the time is, I don't know, it's just the right time to do it. Since I'm on a roll with many videos, I'm thinking, okay, finally I have the time to dedicate to this topic. A lot of you have been asking me, Dacob, what do you think about the Chanel COCO handle bag? Since years, at least 2 years you've been asking. And I've never made a dedicated video to it, but I am now. Because I'm also tired of always, as much as I love all the comments coming in, it's just hard because so often the COCO handle question arises in the comment section and I'm like, oh damn, now I gotta type it in again. When I could just send people off to see this video, and this video will explain what I think about the Chanel COCO handle. So for those of you who don't know what the Chanel COCO handle is, let me fade it in for you guys. So there you have it. This is basically a classic version of the Chanel COCO handle bag. In particular, this photo is taken from the Chanel website, so it's their own photo of their own product, not some third reseller or whatever. This is Chanel's own photo in caviar leather. And as the name says it has a handle. Okay, so it's a very ladylike bag, I would say. You know, I always say fashion is genderless, you wear whatever you like, but this one, it has that lady thing, and then you carry it, and it has a chain, right, with these little clips on the sides. You could take it off or put it on, so you could wear it also, you know, over the shoulder if you wanted to, but the handle is not detachable. The handle is always there. It's a single flap. However, the structure inside of the bag, so if we show a photo of the interior, now, you see, it's a single flap, but it's kind of squished in at the sides, and then it's sewn together, and then it has that zip pocket. So it's not like you can open it and it's like this wide bag. It's restrained on the sides, right? You can't really open it fully. This is a similar structure to the Grand Shopping Tote when it used to be in production, and I'm super sad that it's not in production anymore because it's one of my favorite Chanel bags. I love it to bits, especially the Grand Shopping Tote extra large. The extra large, but because it's so extra large, it's like over 40 centimeters long. It also has that kind of sewn in pocket in the middle, so it kind of squishes the bag in, so the bag doesn't have that full length anymore. But within a 40 to 45 centimeter bag, that's not an issue. The bag is wide enough for you to use all the compartments anyway. In a smaller bag like this, when you do, and this is a classical way of making bags from the past. This is nothing that Chanel invented, or this is not something that Chanel is now doing to create some weird shape. It's something that in the past, a lot of bags used to have. Also in past centuries, with this kind of bent inner flap, and then the bag shortens in the middle and widens up on the two sides. It's very unpractical because we're used to today opening a bag, putting our hands in there, but now you have the zipper in between the two compartments. There's another zipper in between that tightens everything together. Drives me nuts. And on smaller bags, this type of construction drives me nuts. A lot of people can handle it. Plus, mind you, the COCO handle exists in several sizes. So there's this is the photo that we have here is of a kind of a standard bigger size, but there's tiny ones. You know, they get really small, and then there's like, it's really hard to access them. Also, what you might have noticed, how is this bag open? The flap is opened, lying almost flat on the floor, on the surface, but where's the handle? The handle is supposed to be standing up straight. Well, you bend it. It ain't good for it. You shouldn't be bending it, but if you really wanted to, you could. You see the flap has that kind of little lump because underneath it is the metal attachment for the actual handles, or for the handle. It's one handle. I prefer this one. Now, I have reviewed also the Chanel 19 bag, and you could check that review out either in the cart section up above here or in the link will be in the description box underneath this video. So you can hear my opinions on the 19 bag in that video, but I do prefer the COCO handle to the 19 bag. Despite it not being a bag for me, I would never buy it for myself because this shape is not original to Chanel. This shape with this handle is not something quintessentially Chanel. So to give out all that money for a bag that is a very classic bag that has been done by many other brands, but it only has a logo, a Chanel logo on top, just because that Chanel logo, it's not worth it for me. And honestly, it just ain't. However, for people who love Chanel to bits and love this type of bag structure or bag shape, this is okay. I would say go for it, buy it. It's fine. I mean, it has enough. It's enough flexible. It's flexible enough because you could take off the shoulder strap, you could put it back on, you could just hold the handle. You could buy a bigger size, make it more proportioned to your body, or smaller if you're a very petite size. It's an interesting bag if you are into that type of shape and you really want it to be Chanel. Otherwise, a lot of other brands make this shape. It's not a shape that Chanel invented. So you can't say, oh, but somebody's copying Chanel. No, this type of bag existed before. It is what it is. So if you're a huge fan of Chanel and you're also a huge fan of this kind of handle type of bag, then get it. Otherwise, save yourself the $4,000 or $3,000, and for the fraction of the price, get yourself another beautiful leather bag that has that same shape, but it just isn't Chanel. Now, if we go to the back of the bag, so as you can see, Chanel has implemented within this bag, just like they do with their classics, with their Timeless Classic or with their 255 reissue, they've implemented the back pocket reminiscent of the Mona Lisa smile. This one is slightly different because it's more straight cut on the sides. It has less of that curvature that we're so used to from the classic Mona Lisa smile of the Chanel 255 reissue, for example. In this case, we have more of a flat patterned, almost boxy square. Obviously it's not. It does have a slit at the top a little bit, and it is curved at the bottom, but it's kind of two flat sides and then it kind of curves around. It's that pocket, for example, personal opinion, could have been bigger. On this bag, they should have made it a little bit bigger, placed it a little bit more lower, because you need to be able to use this pocket. Dare I say I'm not a fan of this pocket on this bag. I actually think what would have been much better for this type of bag, really go all out on the pocketing and really create from side to side of the bag like a slit pocket, and the entire back panel of the bag, make that part of the pocket. So you don't actually see the pocket. You have just that one slit at the top, back side, a little bit lower back side, and then everything is a pocket. Also nothing original, but it would have had more functionality, more practicality for this particular type of, like, blah, 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 blah. I'm trying to get there. For this particular type of bag, with its structure, I think oh my gosh, what am I doing? It's because everything is mirrored. So if I move my hand in this direction on the control monitor, it's moving in the opposite, so it's all complicated. There. This bag, from there to there, the pocket should be completely fulfilling the bag in the back, because it is kind of a tank of a bag, and you need it to be more utilitarian. You need it to be more ready for use, quick access to the back pocket. You don't need a little tiny pocket in the back. You need a big pocket in the back, especially because when you open the flap inside of the bag, you have that tightened space, that zipper pocket that kind of tightens in the bag, reins it in and makes it smaller. So I'm thinking that pocket should have been done differently, but they wanted to pay homage to the heritage of Chanel, so they did that kind of Mona Lisa smile. Doesn't do it justice, I believe. Oh, you know what I mean? Anyway, Fashionista in La Playa is now joined here too. Thank you so much. Fashionista in La Playa just joined, became a member. By the way, thank you, Fashionista in La Playa, but also anybody, if you wish to support the Fashion Bunker, join Fashionista in La Playa and become a member today and get extra perks. on in the Fashion Bunker. So thank you so much. Fashionista and Apply was actually joined as member tier 1 and now upgraded within a couple of hours to tier 2. Thank you, sweetie, so much for your love and support. Thank you. So yeah, so that's the bag. Oh, another thing I wanted to say, if we go to the close-up of the bag, Fashionista Apply says, I decided to splurge. Thank you so much. That's so sweet of you. Thank you. Look at that, guys. Up there, that little lobster clutch, it's called, pin. There, now you know why I was doing that. You click it open, you know, you push it open, and then you can take it off. So you could take that chain off, and you could just have the little handle. What is interesting here to note, Chanel, you see that double C. Now they're trying to place and position these COCO handle bags into their classics. And so when you scroll through all the Chanel bags on their website, at the bottom, you start seeing the classics. The timeless classics, the 255s, the boys in the black leathers, and the, oh, that sounded like a cool, the boys in the black leather. You see the boys in the black leathers. Yeah, and you get to see the COCO handle. But even though they're trying to make it become a classic, right? Check out the double C. The double C lock, in this case, on the side of the C, it has that little plaque, that little protrusion on one side. Maybe you don't know what I'm talking about. I can't really point over the photo because I'm behind the photo. But underneath on that, wait a minute. How am I going to go up? Oh my gosh, this is going to be fun. There, the top C corner. You see that little plaque there? That says Chanel Paris double C. It has a little, that's something that they do only for their seasonal bags. That's something that they don't put on their classics. Not all seasonal bags, but most seasonal bags get that. So I wonder why that COCO handle has that. Why haven't they taken that off and turned the double C into the classic double C that they use for their classics? We do not know. Hey, Asian Delight in the house. Hey, Busta. Hey, how's it doing? See me. Welcome, welcome. So that, I do not know why they're doing that. If they want to sell this as a classic, then they better treat it. They best treat it as a classic. Now, they, you know, unless they're not trying to tell us something, that this, even though they're showcasing it at the bottom with the classic bags, even though the price is going up with the other classic bags, what are they trying to tell us? That this is actually considered some sort of seasonal gimmick? I do not know. On another note, I do believe that the chain should be thicker. It should be a wider chain, like the chain that they use for their jumbos. Why am I saying this? Because as opposed to handle thickness, the chain is too thin. It needs to, they need to up it up. And also with the bigger, so let's go to the frontal view of the, so again, this is a bigger format, a bigger size, just like with the issue that I had with the 19 bag. Check out my review of that bag as well and on my channel, if you haven't already. The problem is with the proportions of the double C. The double C, for this size, it's too small. They usually keep the double C the same size, more or less, you know, but it needs to be bigger. Proportions are off. The handle has a certain thickness. The chain is too thin for that handle. The chain has to be thicker. The double C has to be a bit bigger. And then we're talking. Proportions here are not off. COCO would not approve. Everything was about proportions for her. Everything needed to have the right proportions. This, you can feel like it's done quickly. It's like they've designed one size perfectly, probably the small, and then they've downscaled and upscaled to all the other sizes quickly. They've just designed one size perfectly, and then all the others, they just boop, 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 you know, without thinking about all the elements. Because all of the elements, if you're enhancing a bag or diminishing it, all the elements have to play their part in this game. All of them have to be enhanced in the right way. They all have to be customized. They have to be custom enlarged or shrunk according to the size of the bag. And I have the feeling with a lot of Chanel bags, think about that. They make it big, and usually in the bigger sizes, proportions are totally whack. I, for example, am not a fan of the timeless classic maxi. Why am I not a fan of the Timeless Classic Maxi? Because the flap, they prolonged it too much. It's too long. It covers up too much of the front back. So the distance between the flap ending and the bottom of the bag is too short. The best proportions of the Timeless Classic are on the small and medium. Small being my favorite. On the small, yeah, and you see, because the small has the proportions of COCO's original bag, and you see how the proportions fit. And whoever then enhanced, scaled up or down the sizes didn't know what they were doing really, because COCO would have adjusted things much more precisely than it has ultimately been done. So if you check online the Chanel Maxi, the Timeless Classic Maxi, and you compare its proportions to the small or to the medium or to the jumbo, they're very different. But it doesn't do the bag good, in my personal opinion. It just makes it even more boxy and more clunky and closed and covered up and suffocated. So yeah, so in terms of the COCO handle, I would tell you, as I said at the beginning, I'm very honest about this. If you really are like this type of shape of bag, Chanel did not invent it. It's not their creation. They're just making a handle bag that is way overpriced. I would, if you like this shape of bag, get it from another brand and save yourself 3K or more, or 4 grand. And if you really love Chanel and you really love the handle bag, then get yourself one of these, but be careful to get it. It has to be proportionate to your body. It has to fit very well to your body. And you have to also just realize, acknowledge how thick the chain leather is, the chain itself is, as opposed to the handle. Do those proportions work well? Does the size that you want to buy, does the double C lock, does it harmonize well with the actual extension of the bag, or does it not? Pay attention to these details, because they're ultimately those little details that at the beginning you might not notice because you're super duper overexcited that you're getting a Chanel bag. So you're not going to notice these details, but trust you me. Trust you me, these little details are the things that are ultimately going to make you love or hate the bag in the future. Because the more you have the bag, the more you're going to realize these details. And these details are going to make it or break it. Ultimately, if you're wearing this, if you're having this bag for years, it's ultimately going to be these details that are going to make you go nuts about it, or in a positive or in a negative direction. So always pay attention to these details and be very, very cautious, because that's going to cost you your love of the bag one day. Anyway, okay, so we can take off the photo, and I can shift towards the center of the screen, and I can read your comments, guys, because I want to know what you guys think about the COCO handle as well. COCO handle is an okay bag, but I dislike the Kelly looking style, says MK. To me, it doesn't look like a Kelly at all. I mean, Kelly's way more elegant than the COCO. I prefer Chanel to Hermes, but when it comes to these bags, but I do prefer the Kelly to the COCO handle any day. Jam says, I like the COCO handle. Melly says, I'm not a fan of this bag. Amelia says, it's very 50s, 60s. She a lady. Time to Musk Up says, they have one oil for your face, but I don't think it's rose scented. Okay, this has nothing to do with the bag. Oh, you're talking about the Huile de Yasmin, the jasmine oil by Chanel. That's a really good one. I have it. Melly says, I like the shape, but not the handle. Maybe if in jersey with a short gold chain. Wait, did you like the shape but not the handle? Maybe if in jersey with a short gold chain handle. Ooh. To have the handle made in chain, but would the chain fall on the bag, or would it be stiff? Because if it would fall on the bag on the jersey, it would dent the jersey. But they have made the COCO handle in jersey as well. It does exist in jersey too. It exists in all sorts of materials. Lambskin, jersey, calfskin. Melly says it looks too stiff. My cousin, okay, MK says, my cousin used to collect COCO handles back in 2016, 2017. She sold them all a few months after to collect Kelly bags instead. Good choice. Pedro says, it looks like it's designed in a hidden factory in China to be sold exclusively on AliExpress. Ooh, the shade, Pedro. No. Let me read through the comments. Here, Jack Dean at the bottom says, I don't love the handle and the chain together. It seems like too much. But to its defense, you can take the chain off. You can take it off. I wonder how it balances with the strap. Oh, hi, Johnny. By the way, welcome to the chat. It doesn't balance that well because the handle keeps like sticking up like a little, you know, something. And then the chain hangs. I mean, the bag hangs off the shoulder with the chain, and then you have the two things combined. It's a bit awkward to me how that little handle just sticks up there when you're not using it, when you're using the chain instead, because the handle, you can't detach it, it's still there. The bag is what a cool chick would wear. I like it, says Paul Parker. I'm Louis says, I want to see the boys in the black leathers. They're at the bottom. That's another pun. At the bottom of the website, the Chanel boy bags in black leather are at the bottom of the Chanel. Oh my God, the puns. This is just, the boys in the black leather are at the bottom. David says, I like the texture of that bag. The texture is good. I like it too, but that's the caviar leather in this case. I think the chain is too thin for the size of the bag, Olfactive Story says. Yes, I agree with you. I think so too. MK says, on COCO handle, the poor quality control is less obvious. It is one of their only bags that still looks very luxurious. Really? The COCO handle? I would not say it looks luxurious. I don't know. It's just my personal opinion, you guys. And also, as I say, when I review the Chanel 19 bag, I've had some people commenting, like being quite bitchy in the comments, I said at the beginning of that video, you guys, just because I'm not a fan of the bag doesn't mean I'm not a fan of you. If I'm reviewing a bag and I'm saying something negative about the bag, and you happen to love that bag, don't be mad at me. We can have different tastes, it's fine. But instead, I had some shady people going at me for not liking the 19 bag. I mean, really? Grow up, people. But what I want to say is, same applies to luxury, MK. So what is luxury? You know, we all have a different concept of a luxurious shape. You know what I mean? To me, the COCO handle, just like Emilio said, it reminds me of the 50s and 60s quite a bit. Not necessarily of luxury. To me, luxury from the 50s and 60s is the 255 bag. That's my concept of luxury. That's the cut and the shape of 50s luxury that I like. That to me looks luxurious. The COCO handle is like a very Italian-looking bag from the 50s and 60s that all of women wore back then. And it wasn't necessarily luxury. It was just a very practical thing back then. How do you feel about some boutiques that slap the Chanel Double C on random beanies? Oh, dreadful, darling, Miranda asks. I say, dreadful, darling. Amelia says, we're traumatizing these straight ladies. Oh, Amelia, no. I mean, listen, everybody has their own opinions. I'm just saying, if you're going to drop so much money, be sure you're dropping it on something that you're going to love in years to come as well, you know? Hi, Trin. Welcome to the chat. Trin says, Dacob always dressed so nice for the live stream. Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, it's because I care for you guys. I want to be pretty for you. You know, I want to dress up for you guys because you mean a lot to me. And I want to make the effort, you know. It's out of respect. Yeah. Paul says, luxury is quality and quality is expense. Quality is not always expense, and luxury is not always quality. Depends. Again, if that's what it is for you, then yes, of course. If it's not for you, then it's not for you. You know what I mean? I stand by Chanel's description of luxury. She said, luxury is not the opposite of poverty. Luxury is the opposite of vulgarity. So for Coco Chanel, luxury was a beautiful sunset. You see, that's not expensive. And she also used to say, best things in life are free. Second best are very expensive. So to be able to experience a beautiful sunset, it's for free. And that's pure luxury. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, please do thumb it up. And consider subscribing to my channel if you haven't already, because I repeat this always. Of the 100% of y'all's watching, only 8% of you are actually subscribed to my channel. Of that 100% watching, that returns and keeps watching. And I'm like, it doesn't cost you nothing to click the subscription button and subscribe to my channel. It costs you nothing, and it helps immensely the channel, because then YouTube pushes it more, because it sees that actually people are appreciating it. So I would be very appreciative of that. And thumb up this video if you haven't already, and if you did enjoy this video. Also, you can join me on my other Chanel adventures by watching other Chanel videos I've done, but also joining me on Instagram, superdacob all spelled together. But you can also join me on 2 dedicated Chanel Instagram profiles that I curate. One is called Coco Chanel is in my house, dedicated to my Chanel collection, but also everything that Chanel as brand is doing nowadays. And the second profile is Coco Chanel Privé, all spelled together, dedicated to Coco Chanel's life and all the achievements and the wonderful things she has achieved during her lifetime. You can also follow me, become a patron. Follow me on Patreon, superdacob all spelled together on Patreon. By the way, on the side here, you get to see my thank yous to all my wonderful patrons and members of the channel who are helping the Fashion Bunker grow. So you can become also a member of my channel. Push the join button next to the subscription button on YouTube, and you get extra perks. You can also follow me on Twitter, superdacob all spelled together there as well. So it's like social media never ends, you guys. There's so many places. It just keeps expanding. Then there's TikTok. Then there's Snapchat. Then there's, I mean, a lot of things that just keep popping up. Twitch, that's another thing. Another endeavor, another adventure that might start soon. You never know. But anyway, all different windows, all different virtual windows that lead us all to the same spot. And that same spot is sharing our passions and our loves with each other. So you guys, until next time, never forget to never give up on love. Love you all. See you soon. Take care. Bye. Mwah.